I'm Susan Galbraith, and I'm the Artistic Director of Alliance for New Music Theater and also the librettist for the show.
I'm Andrew Earle Simpson. I'm a professor of music at Catholic University, and I'm a composer and music director.
So here we are at the Atlas Performing Arts Center, and we started work on this a few years ago. And what do you think has changed?
Well, one of the things that's remarkable is so much seems not to have changed. This show asks questions about art and power and the nature of tyranny, and increasingly we see dictatorships and tyranny happening around the world. So suddenly this show continues to be relevant and perhaps has an urgency that it didn't have before, especially in our country.
And isn't it interesting that a young woman, a woman who is really in our piece, a doll, a mannequin, is the one who has to find the grit to stand up to power.
That's right. And this is a character who really has no power, and yet she is the one who has the clarity to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And she pays the price for it, as truth tellers so often do.
Oh, yes, yes. So let's talk about the music.
Sure. So this is written for a small ensemble. The original version of the piece was for a trumpet alone and the three singers. Now I've been able to expand the ensemble to 5 players, and that gives me a huge range of colors that I didn't have before, but the trumpet still plays an important role. And one of the things that for me is really always interesting about writing for theater is that musical instruments have their own personalities. They have their own range. And so the trumpet, for example, we'll hear the trumpet in its most respectable military form sometimes. And then sometimes we'll hear the trumpet doing other styles, including a couple of horse whinnies and other rude noises that the trumpet is in fact capable of doing. As a former trumpet player, trumpet player, I know this well.
What I love about working with you, Andrew, is so often we think of opera or music theater as taking on very serious tones and telling stories about death, and there's certainly a lot of pathos or moments of pathos and self-revelation. But I think what is so nice about this is that the music can be crazy, and the piece has that tone of havoc, mayhem,
right.
Dada,
Yep,
Dada music.
Yeah, I mean, the styles are all over the map. You know, we have a tango, we have a military march, we have a kind of classical music, we have a Baroque heroic opera, and yet the whole thing is freely bouncing from style to style because there's humor and that sense of the absurd. And yet what I really love about the show is that the underlying message is still very serious.
Very serious.
Where it's humorous and absurd, yet there's an underlying seriousness to it.